Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Perspective, the show about you, for you. As always, today's topic was highly requested by you lot on our Twitter @PerspectiveTV using the hashtag PerspectiveEpisode. Hence, the Student Survival Guide was born. Seeing as September is looming and loads of you will be starting your university life, we're going to be giving you all the tips and tricks you need to calm those jitters about going to university and what to expect. We'll be taking you through all the typical student struggles of university and how to deal with them, how students manage their money, and also understanding that it's not just all about the drunken party life. Are you ready to get some perspective? To get the best idea of what you wanted help with, we sent our production team out and about in Nottingham City Centre. We asked a mixture of higher education students about their biggest worries at university, so here's an insight into their experiences.
My biggest worry as a student is being employed after coming out of education.
My biggest issues with university would be the finance side. You know, I don't feel I have enough money to pay for my food, to pay for my rent, and everything else in between it, to be honest. You know, you still need a social life, and I really don't think you get enough money. And also, you know, I'm worrying about my grades because, you know, I want to be on next year, but my grades aren't good enough, and I just need to work a bit harder, I think.
The problems that I have at university is money issues, first of all. Like my financial income just isn't good enough. Like, I can't afford to live at the minute. Like, I'm skinning myself out each week because my finance is just not enough.
My biggest problem with the university is the finance and the grades. I'm worried about not getting the grades I need. I could try harder really, and then the finance as well. I struggle sometimes to get through the term. £2,000 sounds like a lot, but it goes down pretty fast.
I'd say the finance situation can be a bit of a struggle sometimes because I've got a house now with my girlfriend, and I haven't got a maintenance loan. I just took out the normal bursary and got a part-time job because obviously I didn't want a load of debt on my hands. So, but obviously at this time, at this stage, I kind of wanted to rethink that and actually take out the maintenance loan because it's probably something I should have. Yeah.
I worry about my grades from time to time, but that's not that big a deal to me as much as getting a job is.
I do worry about my grades. I do think I could try a lot harder, but you know, yeah.
I do worry about my grades. Like, obviously, I've got to pass all my modules just to pass the course, so it is challenging at times, and just a little bit of determination will get you somewhere.
Well, it seems like those students had a lot to say about their issues at university. But would you know where to go for support and advice if you're struggling with the workload that university dishes out? We're joined by our first guest today, Sam Wheatley, who is a university level lecturer in Nottingham. So Sam, start us off by just telling us about your job and what you do to help support the students.
So I'm a media tutor on a degree course. I teach camera, lighting and editing. They're kind of my three main areas. And outside of the support that's even delivered session, I'm available for one-to-one support or smaller breakout group sessions if that's what people need.
Fantastic. And what are the sort of common issues that students come to you for help and advice with?
I think it's workload and scheduling that workload really. You know, getting through those assignments. I think just time management really is time management and the content that goes into those assignments.
Okay, so what is the sort of tips and advice that you give to these students to help with their time management a little bit better?
I mean, it's a cliche, but make use of a deadline diary, and not one that's given to you by the university that you're at, but make one yourself. You know, if you design it yourself and write it out yourself and plan it yourself against your own activities, then it's more likely to stick in your mind. And have an assignment plan really. You know, for each assignment, know, let's say it's a written piece, know what areas you want to research, what you want to talk about, because you know any assignment you can write about loads of things, but you know you need to drill it down to a few things. Pick out what those are, so you know what your research is. Set yourself mini deadlines, and then just stick to that. That way you can approach an assignment by writing 200, 300 words every so many evenings rather than cramming it all into the last week.
Indeed. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Absolutely.
Now, where can students go to get this advice and support, either from yourself or are there any other sort of passageways in the university system?
Yeah, so at Confetti we've got two different support streams, if you like. We've got the tutors where you can come to for help on the content of your assignment, so what you might want to talk about, what you might want to investigate, or to talk about anything that they didn't quite understand in the session. And with any other assignments, if it's a punctuation thing, a structure, or grammatical issues, that kind of thing, then we have academic support where they're better served to help with that. The lines are blurred. I mean, it's not like a strict rule at all. It's just kind of a way to start off so that we know that the time of the tutors and the time of the academic support staff is best utilised.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sam. So that proves that if you're flying Vanessa in September to start your university life, it's really that simple to get the help you might need if you know where to go and who to ask. Now, if you're a skint student or worrying about managing your finances when you become a student, it can be difficult to budget for the student loan properly. It can also be daunting suddenly be fending for yourself and cooking all those meals for the first time. So we're going to show you how to whip up a quick and tasty dish with that last fiver in your wallet.
Hello and welcome to Feast for the Least. And on this week's episode of Perspective, we are going to be cooking meals for students and for cheap. On today's menu we have bean burgers, spicy bean burgers in fact, and we also have for dessert lemon cheesecake. We hope you enjoy. Got some black pepper, some table salt, a garlic, mushrooms, some spices, some baps and lettuce, some eggs, butter beans, red kidney beans, and finally some bread crumbs. So the first process to this bean burger, you'll need to get your garlic, you'll need to peel it as followed. Nice and messy one, and it also smells, so don't be alarmed. Now all you'll need is 2 of the cloves, or else it's going to be too strong and you won't enjoy it. Next process, just peel the cloves as followed and then cut them up like this, and this will give you more than enough flavour in the actual burgers. You can keep this skin on if you want, it doesn't really do anything to you, it doesn't add to the flavouring at all. This more than enough. If you're serving for one, if you serve for more than one, I'd recommend you use probably 4 if you serve more than one burger, but you should only need 1. So now they're cooked, you've got them. I want you to put them in to the frying pan. Mushrooms are a very beautiful product. You can use them in a lot of foods, to be honest with you. Mushrooms on toast, any breakfast you want. You've always got your mushroom, very English. That should be enough for one. I mean, I like my mushrooms, hence why I'm putting a lot in. Next up, you put your mushrooms in with the onions, and you just want to be cooking your onions and your garlic for a couple of minutes, just roast them really. We're going to wait till they get heated up, and then once we've cooked these, once they've gone a bit brownish, we're then going to go over to the blender where we will blend up the actual mix for it before we put it into a bowl. So here, you put the beans in, put half a tin in, will be more than enough. Nice and juicy. Put half in, probably not enough. And then you add breadcrumbs to it. And 1 egg will be enough for it. Next, you put it on the blender. And the next process is to take it off and to put it in your pan. Process that up. Put this in your wok. You got to flatten it in your hand and make it into a burger. Look, this is a big juicy one. Just let the oil get to it. And basically you just cook it until it gets brown, and that's when you know it's cooked. It doesn't really have a certain temperature, there's nothing in there that's got meat, so you won't have anything in there. Before you flip it, put some chilli in, and that'll make it spicy. It's nice and hot now, the juices are just going into the burger. It's going to make it really nice. Put the burger on the roll. Add some salad, depending on how much you would like. You have yourself. And that was a spiced bean burger. Thank you for watching. Now on to the dessert. Next, we're going to be cooking the lemon cheesecake. Now for this, you'll need some icing sugar, some shortbread, some butter, some lemon curd, and some cream. So the first thing you need to do is smash the shortbread up as followed. Next, we need to melt butter. Let's take a spoonful, put it in a tub like this, and stick it. Now I'm mixing the butter, melted butter, in with the shortbread, and now you use your hands to mix it in. That's going to make the crust. It's still quite warm, so be careful, leave it to cool down for a little bit. Now I'm just going to place all this into your bottom of your glass, which is going to make a base for it. So add the lemon curd into your mixture. Not all the way around. And then whip some cream up. Your bowl of your lemon. That's fine. And here is the lemon curd with the cream and with the shortbread, and it makes a lovely lemon cheesecake. It smells delicious, in fact. Let me just trial it. Let me just see how it tastes. It's really nice. I've been your host, Callum Cameron. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Perspective. Have a good evening.
That looked delicious. Even though I'm not a student, those are some recipes I need to keep in mind. Who doesn't want to save money? Now, we're joined with our second guest, Lucia, who is a first-year student in Nottingham. Now, Lucia, tell us some of your tricks you use to save money on a day-to-day basis.
I was never really good with saving money. I would say if I did try to save money, I would just probably put it in my savings account and just not spend it.
That's true. Do you tend to go to the cheaper shops though, like Aldi or Lidl, or do you tend to shop at the big chains?
Where I live, Aldi's literally just round the corner. It's like a 10-second walk, so I just go to Aldi.
So that's nice and easy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what sort of recipes that you have to keep the costs down a little bit?
Spaghetti bolognese, because it's quite easy to make.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you make it yourself, or do you just use a packet mix?
No, I make it myself.
Oh, fantastic. What sort of ingredients do you use?
Just the onions and the beef, and then the tomato sauce.
Nice and tasty. Now, Sam, you were mentioning earlier on that you had a a certain recipe from your student days. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, my number one recipe when I was at university was you take a tin of beans and a tin of mushy peas and then mix them together in one bowl.
That just sounds grim. Lucia, is that something that you might go for?
I think
take that away?
I don't think it sounds that bad. Like, maybe if you had something else on the side with it, I think it could actually work.
The green and the orange makes me think of Tic Tacs, but the consistency makes me think of vomit. That sounds absolutely horrific. Now, Lucia, do you know where to go within your university if you needed any support, perhaps on the financial side or with your academic studies?
Yeah, I would go to either my tutor if I'm struggling with anything, so I can get some advice on that. And yeah.
And is there any common issues that you sort of face as a student? Is it more academia and planning, or is it more dealing with those scary finances?
I would say both, because with finance it's just hard to maintain, especially because you don't get that much. And if you get a job, that can be quite handy to help with your finance. And with uni, was it the tutor?
Yeah, with the academic side of your work, do you find moving from your A-levels to university, is that quite a big leap for you?
Yeah, it is.
So Sam, taking that change, what can Lucia do to help improve her course?
I think, like I said before, really, it's just, you know, with that kind of organisation and like make use of a diary or a calendar. I mean, most people have got access to a laptop or computer or smartphone. You know, we can sync calendars and that kind of thing. Keep a good check on what we're doing. You know, to-do lists is always useful. I think that's it, really. Just planning and making sure that everything is thought about, really, and planned out.
Oh, fair enough. Well, thank you very much, Lucia, and thank you, Sam. It's now time for Ryan's Revelations. Is it rolling? Okay, so we're going to start off this week by showing you how you can quickly and easily pack efficiently, so you can run away from your parents as quickly as possible when September rolls around. Now, you two, I take it that both of you have moved away from your parents now? Yeah? Is this your first time living away?
Yeah, it is. It's a big step, but...
When you were packing, did you tend to pack your own stuff, or did you get mummy and daddy to help you a little bit too?
No, I packed my own stuff.
Ah, see. Well, for a nice little tip with the hoodies, make sure the hood is nice and folded round. Flip the arms in and simply just fold it in half. Nice and simple square for you to pack in. Now, Sam, do you want to give that one a go at all? Or shall I pass it to Lucia? Thank you very much. Sam, what did you find it was like moving away from home for the very first time?
Wasn't necessarily difficult. I've already forgotten how you taught me this.
You might want to even start with it closed up, Sam. That might be easier. Now, with these jeans, I've decided to roll them up rather than fold them up, just to quickly and easily just slot it in there, save a little bit of space rather than folding everything up. Do you want to give those a little try, Lucia? See if you can do that. Now, when I left for university, fantastic. Well done, Sam. A star for you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Ah, you nearly done too? Fantastic. See, we still have half a bag left for all your hair straighteners and your hair dryers and whatever else you need for university. So, being a student may not be the easiest thing. Trying to find the right accommodation and making sure your student finance application is done correctly. Trying to make the most of that loan you get by being an independent student. And of course, getting the grades you need to pass the course. We hope this episode helped settle your mind, and that is all we have time for in today's Perspective. If you have any queries or want any more information on today's topics, please tweet us your questions at Perspective TV, and our production team will be in touch to help you out. Remember to use the hashtag PerspectiveEpisode to submit your ideas for future episodes. And thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day.